How can you sum up the life of someone you have shared almost every day with for over 50 years? Someone you have slept beside almost every night, shared almost every meal, and faced all of life's problems together. Simply being with her brought me happiness. I could tell you how mischievous Tabby was, though rarely in public. I could tell you some of the many things that she enjoyed: children, food, travel, music, family, pets, flowers and plants, reading, especially fantasy and science fiction, her favorite TV shows and video games. I could also tell you about her courage and cheerfulness during our early years of poverty, or about how she remained uncorrupted by decades of severe emotional abuse by her mother. Instead, I will tell you that Tabby was always the dominant partner. It took me decades to realize this, and I'm not sure if she ever did. Tabby's mother laughed at her for being disorganized, and in reaction, Tabby became almost superhumanly organized. These organizational skills served her well in the ministry and made her a significant factor in the success of the company where she spent the last decades of her working life. Her organizational skills also meant that she easily coordinated the schedules of 5 busy people in our household. She organized all of the household gatherings and kept track of where everything was. She did essentially all the mind work to run the family, but never for herself, always to be sure that everyone got what they needed. Tabby kept me looking for work during the hard years in the early 1980s. We both decided together to move to Needham, but Tabby did the research that informed that decision. We joined Great Plains Squares on her initiative. She pushed to make our move to Natick happen when it did. I am very glad for all these things. She was always the more important parent and the more important grandparent. She connected with people emotionally in ways that I never did. Tabby always had a clear understanding of the big picture, but whenever she could, she chose to act in ways that concretely benefited the people around her. Her participation in both organizations and social causes usually took the form of direct, practical help that solved immediate problems. Tabby had the most beautiful soul I have ever known. She was, and still is, my one true love. She was the light of the world, and now she is gone forever.
Thank you, George. I invite Tabby's sister Suki forward to offer her reflection.
I had too many memories to bring forth today. Tabby is still creating memories for me. My family had recently purchased a new home that Tabby had seen pictures of and was looking forward to coming and actually visiting the home this summer, the Tuesday following her passing. And I don't know, do people here know the significance of cardinals after someone has passed? That very first Tuesday, a cardinal appeared on the back part of our property. And I said, okay, Tabby, you're here. The following Tuesday, the cardinal came a little bit closer in the yard. And I said, okay, it's Tuesday again, no tacos. And every Tuesday, since we started moving into the house, which was the beginning of May, actually the weekend before her passing, the cardinal has appeared. And this morning, when I opened the blinds to the deck, there sat the cardinal, as red can be. Now, to add on top of this, we know that her name was Tabby. One morning, we pulled up in front of the house, and out of nowhere, skittered a tabby cat. Jumped up on the front steps, jumped down, and disappeared. So, Tabby, thank you for reminding me that you're still here. And George, please look for the cardinals. Okay. And the tabby cats.
Thank you, Suki. I invite forward Tabby's friend and godfather to her children, Merrill, to offer his reflection.
Tabby was the first friend I made when I entered Andover Newton Theological School in the winter of 1976. Her friendship made a great difference for me. Andover Newton was then intellectually, spiritually, socially an exciting place to be, but they didn't think to provide orientation for students like me who entered in the middle of the school year, left us hanging. I think of the ones who entered when I did, I was the only one who made it all the way through to graduation. And Tabby and the commuters' lounge at Andover Newton were the two major reasons why. I was not a commuter. I shouldn't have belonged there. But all of you know, Tabby had a great gift for being genuinely interested in and welcoming to others. And she helped make that lounge a second home for me and helped make the people there friends for me. So Unitarian Universalist Tabby and son and great-grandson of Congregationalist and United Church of Christ ministers, Merrill, found that we could talk theology and spirituality and politics and folk music. I still have the Gordon Bach record that I bought under her advice. We loved our traditions and shared that love, and we also found ways to find the humor in them. Some of you may remember Christopher Rabel's Hymns for the Celebration of Strife, the pastiche of Hymns for the Celebration of Life. She showed that to me, and I gave her the unofficial New England United Church of Christ creed. I believe in the fatherhood of God, the sonship of Jesus, and the autonomy of the local congregation, which should be read in ascending order of importance. We shared a love of Lord Peter Wimsey. And of course, for someone who did not yet know how to cook, there was the great advantage of having Tabby and George as friends. I still remember the birthday cake they made for me the following November. It was, if it was written, this would be in capitals. It was chocolate. And I can't remember if it was a 5-course or a 7-course dinner she once prepared for us. It was magnificent, and now that I do cook for myself and my family, I am in total awe of what she accomplished. Tabby and George befriended me, challenged me to think clearly, fed me, cared for me when I needed it. When I worked myself into total exhaustion trying to carry a full course load and work a full-time night shift job, they took me into their home. They fed me, they gave me a place to rest, get back on my feet again. For almost 50 years, Tabby was a friend. Even in times when we didn't see each other that often, she was still there in the letters that she wrote, the talks at the Lowell Folk Festival, with that smile that I'll never forget, that always seemed to express a great sense, even with all the sorrows, of wonder and joy and that gentle voice. She's left a lot of good memories for me. I will miss her, and I am so glad that I stumbled into that commuter's lounge at Andover Newton in 1976.
Thank you, Meryl. I invite forward Tabby's niece, Danielle, to offer her reflection. And I'd also like to make an addendum and an apology to Tabby's grandson, Dylan, who she got to meet when he was already a teenager. As a bonus mom to many young people in our town, she also got to be a bonus grandmother for Dylan. And I apologize for not adding that in with all of the grandchildren who were born and she got to meet when they were just little babies. Thank you for being part of the family, Dylan.
When I think of Tabby, I think of how kind she was. And I remember her smile and how there was just this hint of mischievousness in it always. And whenever I think of Tabby, I always think of George, because that's who they were, George and Tabby, always together in my memories. Sorry. So I've spent my whole life knowing that George and Tabby have been together forever. And I always heard that they met at a Unitarian youth conference when they were 13. And I remember thinking about that when I was 13 and I was at my first Unitarian youth conference, Green Eggs and Con. George and Tabby met through a friend of Tabby's who said to her, "You have to meet this guy, he's just as weird as you are." And they've been weird together ever since, for over 50 years. They've spent a lifetime together. How lucky you are to have found each other so young. It's amazing and rare just to find your mate and to get to spend your lives growing up together and growing your children up together, growing your grandchildren up together, going through all of it, the ups and the downs that make a life beautiful and rich and diverse. What a beautiful gift of a life Tabby got to experience and that we got to experience with her. I wish with all my heart that she was still here and still experiencing it with all of us. I really appreciate getting to connect with George and Tabby over the last decade. They've visited my home in California twice, and I'm incredibly grateful for those visits. Thank you, George, for putting in the energy and the effort to do that. It's not easy. Thanks for coming out and sharing a little bit of my life in my little log cabin, and for meeting my kiddo and my husband and spending time with us as a family. It has been wonderful to have honest and respectful conversations together about politics and cats and our family's history. We had a really great visit this last fall. We spent time playing with my 4-year-old and drinking lots of coffee, eating delicious meals together and connecting about the things that have divided our country as a whole and our family in particular. It was so nice to connect and reflect on the past and how that has shaped each of our family members and the relationships that we have all had. Tabby made me feel really comfortable. She was very kind. She made my husband feel comfortable and accepted as well, which was such a gift to us. I felt that like I could be my true and complete self around Tabby without any judgment, and that is a beautiful gift. I will miss her dearly. I know we all will. Thank you.
Sit by my side. Sit by my side. Come as close as the air. Sharing a memory of gray.
Sit by my side. Come as close as the air. Sharing a memory of gray.
And
Wonder in my words and dream about the pictures that I play of changes.
green leaves of summer turn red in the fall. To brown and to yellow they fade, and then they have to die. Trapped within the circle time parade of changes. Scenes of my young years turn warm in my mind. Visions of shadows that shine. And one day I returned and found they were the victims of the vines of changes. The world spinning madly, it drifts in the dark, swings through a hollow of haze, a race around the stars, a journey through the universe ablaze of changes. Moments of magic will glow in the night. All fears of the forest are gone, but when the howling breaks, they're swept away by golden drops of dawn of changes. Passions will part to a strange melody, as fires will sometimes burn cold, like petals in the wind. We're puppets of the silver strings of souls of changes.
Your
Tears will be trembling, now we're somewhere else. One last cup of wine we will pour. I'll kiss you one more time and leave you on the rolling river shores of changes.
Is this on? Yeah, thank you. We've come to the time in our service when we invite all those who would like to come forward with a brief reflection, memory, or story about Tabby that you'd like to share here in the microphone. Or if you would prefer, just wave or lift your hand and I can bring the microphone to you. If you're joining us online on YouTube, please type your memories into the chat so that Tabby's family can read those stories later. I invite anyone to come forward, please.
Hi, my name is David Maxis. First of all, I want to say how wonderful it's been sitting here and learning so much more about Tabby than I ever knew. And it's great to have that picture. And okay, I'll get started. Partly that's because frankly, I didn't know Tabby that well. So I don't have any real funny stories or things like that. But since I arrived at First Parish in 2005, I had occasion to interact with her in different times and hear her speak in different places. And I developed an appreciation that Tabby, along with George, was someone who held Unitarian Universalism very close to her heart, someone who put her faith into practice, into life, and someone who was a pillar of First Parish. This showed up in all the many First Parish-related stories we've heard this morning, and we've heard about her long-time devotion to Unitarian Universalism, her service here as the director of RE, involvement in the sanctuary program has been mentioned, to her comments at congregational meetings, and I think George and Tabby were among the most loyal people at those meetings that are so critical to the church functioning well. So even though I didn't know Tabby well, she was and is an important part of my First Parish experience, my experience in Unitarian Universalism, and I'm thankful for those things.
I think I'm going to hold this because I really couldn't hear the last one. Can you hear me? Okay, good. I'm Meg. I'm Tabby's sister-in-law, George's sister. And I've known her for a long, long time. I think I was 13 when I met her. And we grew up together as well, in a way, although I moved away a lot quicker than George did, and further. And we raised our children similarly. I have wonderful pictures of you as tiny people, so take a look at that. I loved this. My pictures will add to the center part of your life when you were raising your kids. To me, Tabby was, yes, kind, generous, incredibly smart, creative, unusually creative, not just the standard, let's find some money and have a good life. She looked out to other people and made a true effort, as all of you saw here, to make the world a better place. The thing that I will remember about her and about our generation and about is that the next generation is very important to us. She loved all of you. I look out and I see her face over and over again in the children and the grandchildren, and I hope the great-grandchildren, and the cousins, and the friends probably are looking like her right now, too. She does show up again and again in the faces. Please, if I take anything from this absolutely lovely service, is that we do need to care for each other. She was right. And this congregation was a blessing to her. and should be a blessing to George and to his children and their children. She's gone, but not forgotten. One other thing, she wasn't just always sweet and kind. This was not Tabby. Come on. As my mother used to say, I'm not as interested in nice people. I'm interested in interesting people. She could be. The last time I had a really long conversation with her was after the first surgery, and she was hilariously funny about how angry she was at the hospital. They didn't do what they should have done, and she was going to tell me about it and tell me exactly what she told them. And I laughed through the whole thing because she was so her. She was finally getting better, and she was pissed. So she gave you the right to be pissed and to hold people accountable for their good deeds and their bad deeds. She was a good woman, and of a certain, not like our parents' generation, our generation, and not like your generation, our generation. We can all learn from each other. We love each other. Let's continue to watch out for each other. Okay. And I will miss you, Tabby. I was looking forward to being an old crabby lady with you.
Hi, I'm Tabby's youngest sister, Abigail. I had not intended to speak today because, frankly, I'm still processing. I find this death unfathomable. It came out of nowhere. I was only 5 years old when George entered my life as Tabby's partner. And so for most of my life, it's been Tabby and George. One name goes with the other, never apart, never singular, always Tabby and George. And so I know that as George is here and his children, Tabby stays with me, even as it's so unfathomable to imagine that she's not here in body, because we've all absorbed her, and George most of all. I cannot imagine that these two people could be cleaved in two. It's, like I said, just unfathomable. Thank you.
I'm Ethan, her son. I have struggled all my life with social situations. And what success I've had is largely due to her example. I've never known what to say in most occasions, but I've always known what to do. Bring food, bring comfort, bring cheer. And as a result, while only one of my multitude of far-flung friends across the world is here with me today, were I to gather up all of my friends whose lives she has touched, who remembered her to this day, we could easily fill this church thrice over.
Thank you all so much for sharing. With grief in our hearts at Tabby's loss, yet joy for all of the happy times we shared with her, we pause together for a moment of quiet when we can reflect, remember, and rejoice that Tabby was a part of our lives. We'll have a moment of silence. Please rise now in body or in spirit and join in singing another of Tabby's selected hymns, Abide With Me, The lyrics are in your orders of service and can be found at number 101 in the gray hymnals.
Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, still with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Swift to its close, ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay all around I see. Oh, thou who changest not, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight, and tears no bitterness. Where is the sting? Where grave and victory? I triumph still if thou abide with me.
Thank you all so much again for gathering today in honor and remembrance of Tabby Rappolt. Again, Tabby's family invites all of you who are here in Needham to join them after the postlude for a memorial reception in our parish hall, which is just out the door to your left and down the hallway on the right. We hope you will stay to continue sharing memories of Tabby with one another. As we close our service today, take these words adapted from poet Nancy Wood with you as a benediction. Hold on to what is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. And hold on to her hand, even when she has gone away from you. Blessed be, and amen.
When the deer is bedded down, and the bear is gone to ground, and the northern goose has wandered off to warmer bay and sound, it's so easy in the cold to feel the darkness of the year, and the heart is growing lonely for the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging low, and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? And if I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning to the morning. one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. It's a pity we don't know what the little flowers know. They can face the cold November, they can take the wind and snow. They put their glories all behind them, bow their heads and let it go. But you know they'll be there shining in the morning. Oh my Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging low and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? And if I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. That the world is always turning toward the morning.
All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye, but the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. Taxi's waiting, he's blowing his horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could cry. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. There's so many times I've let you down, so many times I've played around. I tell you now, they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, I think of you. Every song I sing for you. When I come back, I'll wear your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go. Now the time has come to leave you. One more time, let me kiss you. Then close your eyes, I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to leave alone. About the time I won't have to say. Kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. I'm leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Leaving on a jet plane. I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh babe, I hate to go.
When the deer is bedded down the bear is gone to ground and the northern goose has wandered off to warmer bay and sound. It's so easy in the cold to feel the darkness of the year, and the heart is growing lonely for the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging slow and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? And if I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. Now October's growing thin and November's coming home. You'll be thinking of the season and the sad things that you've seen. And you hear that old wind walking, hear him singing high and thin. You could swear he's out there singing of your sorrow. Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging slow and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? And if I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. When the darkness falls around you and the north wind comes to blow, and you hear him call your name out as he walks the brittle snow, that old wind don't mean you trouble. He don't care or even know. He's just walking down the darkness toward the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging slow and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? If I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. It's a pity we don't know what the little flowers know. They can't face the cold November, they can't take the wind and snow. They put their glories all behind them, bow their heads and let it go. But you know they'll be there shining in the morning. Oh, but Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging slow and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? And if I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the days are rolling slow and the winters are walking easy as he did so long ago? And if that wind should come and ask you, why's my Joni weeping so? Won't you tell him that you're weeping for the morning? Oh, my Joni, don't you know that the stars are swinging slow and the seas are rolling easy as they did so long ago? And if I had a thing to give you, I would tell you one more time that the world is always turning toward the morning. in that wee dark engine room, where the chill seeps through your soul. How we huddled round that wee pot stove that burned oily rags and coal. How the winter blizzards blow and the whaling fleet's at rest, tucked in Leith Harbor's sheltered bay, safely anchored 10 abreast. The whalers at their stations, as from shed to shed they go, carry little bags of coal with them and a little iron stove. In that wee dark engine room, where the chill seeps through your soul, how we huddled round that wee pot stove that burned oily rags and coal. The fireman Paddy worked with me on the engine stiff and cold. A stranger to the truth was he, there's not a lie he hasn't told. And he boasted of his gold mine, and of all the hearts he'd won, and his bonny sense of humor shone just like a ray of sun. In that wee dark engine room, where the chill seeps through your soul, how we huddled round that wee pot stove that burned oily rags and coal. Then one day we saw the sun and the factory ships return. Meet your old friends, sing a song, hope the season won't be long. Then homeward bound when it's over, we'll leave this icy hole, but I always will remember that little iron stove. In that wee dark engine room, where the chill seeps through your soul, how we huddled round that wee pot stove that burned oily rags and coal.
The winter is past and the leaves are green. The time is gone that we have seen, but still I long for the day to come when you and I will be as one. Black, black, black is the color of my true love's hair. His lips are like some rosy fair, the finest face and the neatest hands. I love the ground whereon he stands. Black, black, black is the color of my true love's hair.
My life flows on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real, though far off hymn that hails the new creation. Above the tumult and the strife, I hear its music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing? What though the tempest loudly roars? I hear the truth, it liveth. What though the darkness round me close? Songs in the night it giveth. No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing when tyrants tremble sick with fear and hear their death knell ringing? When friends rejoice both far and near, how can I keep from singing? In prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing? My life flows on in endless
song. Above earth's lamentation, I hear the real, though far off,